killed this computer. It's like, now it's gone. He just took it away. So.
Life is fun, isn't it? Come, guys.
In Washington County is 92. For the state of Utah, 118. Big difference.
The good news is the microphones work and the commercials work, so we're all right.
You start holding those?
We're live.
On both. On both. Did you hit the YouTube too?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
West 2020 deal. You'll get internet for as low as $20 a month. That's right, high-speed internet for just $20 a month for 2020. Here's how.
What's going on there? Is there some Facebook Livers with us this morning? I hope so. I hope so. I hope so. Man, it's going to be beautiful the next couple of days. 64, 69 tomorrow. I'm going to the Parade of Homes tomorrow for a few hours. I love it.
That's a $200 value. No filler
Yep.
service bundling required. InfoWest high-speed internet the way you want. Fast, reliable, and local.
Okay, you guys ready?
Yeah, man.
You're born to boogie.
773-6065. Or online at InfoWest.com.
.com.
InfoWest, the internet.
All right, man and woman. All right, people.
Hall of the Ben Shapiro Show, weekday afternoons from 4 to 6 on News Radio 94.9.
Shapiro's entertaining, man.
KDXU.
Really entertaining. Wow.
Morning, everybody. News Radio 94.9, 890 KDXU. It's a Thursday, and that means the good-looking guys come in the studio. Jeremy Larkin and Jesse Paul. Morning, fellas.
Good morning.
That's P-O-double-L,
It
not
is.
P-A-U-L. Because it's funny, because it really is Paul. And
Yeah,
it throws people off, doesn't it, Jesse?
it does, but it's because, I always say it's because the politicians have been lying to us from the beginning. How do you, right?
what?
Why would we ever say poll?
Oh, I
It's
see.
P-O-L-L. It's
Well, wait,
P-O-L-E.
Toll is T-O-L-L.
Toll is
Toll,
T.
T-O-L-L.
That's true. So
I
I
like
guess
it.
I can't blame it on the politicians anymore.
Well, maybe they're both wrong.
Yeah.
Look, I'm going to be
Anyway,
real. Dude, I'm going to get straight right now. You're the last guy to give us an opinion about the English language.
This is true. But that actually came from my wife, and she's actually pretty good.
Okay, that's fair. You know what? And she's bright.
But it's actually the easiest way to have somebody remember it.
Mhm.
It's not even that I think they all lie, or the English language. It's the easiest way for people to remember.
I love this. It's not even that they all lie. Well, there you have it.
Well, because, yeah.
Did you guys realize that yesterday? What am I hearing in the background? You playing a video somewhere?
No?
Oh, you don't know. It is Facebook Live. I
Oh,
could hear
yeah, it
coming-
was your computer,
echoing.
wasn't it?
It was echoing.
Uh-huh.
I was like, "What is that? It's coming off my freaking computer."
Yeah.
Yesterday was National Mint Chocolate Day or Chocolate Mint Day.
What? I missed it.
Yeah, it was my father's birthday the day before, so we had a little birthday shindig, and I did grab some mint chocolate chip Tillamook, and it really is rich and beautiful. Will you shut that door? Somebody is in a full-blown conversation that's coming into this. Thank you.
It's been that way all morning. It's just
Wow!
been really
Holy
loud.
smoke!
The monkeys have been bouncing off the
Wow!
wall.
Sorry, man. If you're listening to the radio, they're like, "What does he mean?" Well, if I had my papers, I could do Rush Limbaugh.
Yeah.
Because you know how Rush does it. He has the papers and he shuffles them. It's part of the shtick. It's part of the shtick.
Yeah.
The guy's a genius, but he's also an unbelievable performer. So St. George Parade of Homes will wrap up Sunday. If you haven't gone and you'd like to go, I advise you do that. I'm going to go out tomorrow afternoon. And we didn't talk last week because you weren't here. Do you ever go to the parade?
I have been, I don't know, how long has the parade been going?
A long time, 20 plus years.
So I've probably been 5 times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't go every year, but I go usually when I get a free ticket.
I know I should have brought some tickets. Our clients always want tickets. We haven't even had a ticket.
Yeah, we didn't. We got sidetracked this year.
We haven't had a ticket for anybody.
Right.
So my kids want to go. So 4 of us will head out. 5 of us?
I have it
Maybe
on
a
my
little group of
calendar
us will
for
go out
next year to make sure I don't miss it.
Yeah. Well, how
Because
do you miss
we were
it?
out of town. Not
Well,
not
how
the
you gonna
parade,
miss it?
not the parade of homes, but
Oh, the
getting the
tickets.
tickets for people because we were so
Yeah.
busy getting ready to go
Yeah.
to Dallas that I just.
Yep. Yep. Hey, if you're out there in the Facebookosphere, you're watching us live, let us know how the sound is. We grabbed a new dongle It's a great
That's right.
word. It's just
Yeah.
it's fun to say, dongle.
It sounds
dongle.
like something that's maybe a little bit perverted.
Yeah, it's not great, but hey,
It sounds perverted, but it's really not.
it's
not.
hilarious.
Blame iPhone.
Yeah, blame that. It's
They-
hilarious.
they named it.
Yeah, they did it. They did it.
Actually,
Solid.
they call it a lightning rod.
Huh,
so
this is funny. So Kayla says solid. Jessica says not very well. Jess, you might want to,
Turn the
Jessica
volume up.
Tarrant, you might want to like take the wax out of your ears this morning. This is hilarious.
Ouch.
So I don't know. I mean, if somebody can hear it great and somebody can't, what would that mean? I don't know. Live from the Cherry Creek Radio Studios, Jeremy Larkin here, host of the St. George Real Estate Morning Drive. We've got Jesse Paul, P-O-double-L, my buddy, my business partner.
That's right.
We're
Brother from
no,
another
we're
mother.
here. We're ready to do this morning. So it is February 20th, 2020. St. George Parade Homes. You can pick up tickets over at Lynn's, the Red Cliffs Mall. The Red Cliffs Mall is so silly. You have to walk into the mall, into the center court of the mall, to get a ticket to the parade, or you got to go to Lynn's, or you can now get them online. This is new, but you still have to go get your parade book. I complained about this last week, and I will complain again. And if Mari and the Suba people are within sound of my voice, maybe, guys, you've made it so difficult. And I know you want to, like Red Cliffs Mall. How much money are Lynn's and the Red Cliffs Mall giving the Southern Utah Home Builders Association? That's the question. Because for them to continue to make people physically go there to get these, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But the online's cool, and I don't know exactly how it works but I'm assuming you just buy the ticket online and then you download the app and then you go to town. I always loved the book, the paper book, right? But I know I hate Mother Earth and I hate the planet, and so that was facetious. I don't hate the Earth. So check it out, St. George, paradehome.com or paradehomes.com, but I think it's paradehome.com. Check it out. I'm going to be out tomorrow afternoon. We'll go see 4 or 5. Maybe we'll see 4 or 5 more over the weekend. Maybe I'll drop an offer on a $2 or $3 million home,
Do it.
but likely not, which does segue quite nicely. Over at the Larkin Group, we have been putting some incredible real estate on the market in the last week. We did list a $2.995 million home. Original building costs $6 million in 2009.
Wow.
$750K in the home theater. Yeah, you would have thought that was actually a single bay at the theater up the street.
Mhm.
$750,000 in the home theater. It is.
Wow.
I described it as a home theater experience. The home is 20. Does anybody want to see this home? I think they do.
You should put it
I want to see it right
Now I'm gonna do. Realtors love to hate Zillow. I'm actually going to post this in the place that everybody can actually look at it today. Okay. And Jesse, we could be talking about a mobile app, but that's next week, by the way.
Yes, we're not ready to quite talk about
Yeah,
that
we're ready to
yet.
talk about this. It's gonna be this.
Oh, you guys are
I
teasers.
can tell you something right now.
We are.
Something's happening with Keller Williams Realty. It's going to be so incredible for our client base. It is now going to be your alternative to Zillow. It's a better alternative, and it's going to hurt a lot of competitors. They're going to be like, oh no, crap, these guys got this. Yeah. It's coming. If you want to see this home, 2018 West Magatsu Circle. I linked Zillow in the show comments today. If you want to see something cool. So this is in Kachina Cliffs at Entrada.
Oh,
So it's right up against the cliffside in a cul-de-sac, and it's something, is really what it is. Elevator, so heaven forbid you go up and down on your own. No, but really the
the
elevator.
house has an elevator.
Oh yeah, beautiful elevator. It's just completely all trimmed out in Naughty Alder. The reality is the elevator is not for people who are lazy. It's for somebody who would have a hard time going up and down, right? So $750,000 in the home theater. You ought to see this backyard. This huge, this resort-style pool with beautiful waterfalls coming up with a swim jet in the side.
It's something else.
So you can be over there swimming laps against the jet in this cliff side pool. And when this thing's lit up at night, yeah, it's something else. Check it out. So we just listed that. Folks, if you want to see what we're doing and what we are selling, visit gostgeorge.com. That is, and I could have linked to that. But I put Zillow in because Zillow has more photos. Gostgeorge.com. That is GOSTGeorge.com. I advise you hop on there, see what we're listing over the weekend. Good grief. Do you realize what we've sold over the weekend for clients? Scenic Sunrise, we'll have under contract today or tomorrow. $495,000 house. $530,000 $30,000 in Green Springs, Northbridge, both are brand new construction. 2 contracts have come through in the last 48, 72 hours on our Brookwood project by Sunwood Homes. Sunwood is one of our sponsors.
Right.
You can visit them at mysunwoodhomes.com. I think we might have put 6 or 8 contracts together for home buyers and sellers since we went out of town last week.
That's true. Your buyer team was very busy.
Yeah, it's been crazy. Yeah, so it's been a crazy time.
How was Dallas, man?
Let's talk about it. Let's transition. Let's talk Dallas. Let's talk Dallas, and we're going to talk about when the next housing crash is going to come, or whether it's going to come. You ready? So, Dallas. Jesse, how was Dallas?
It was awesome. Phenomenal.
Mm-hmm. That it? Okay, cool, Andy. There's your
That's all
report.
you need to know.
No, it's
Actually, it was informative.
the
Dallas
event was
itself
informative. Yeah, Dallas was not terribly informative. It's a large city, 7.7 million people.
Wow.
I'm the wrong guy to ask because
Yeah,
I'm
no,
just
he's not.
I was in bed by 9 o'clock every night. I didn't really
Yeah.
get to experience Dallas much.
So I did experience quite a bit of Dallas, and I don't party, but I party at the level I party at, which is usually with a Coke Zero in a hand. So
Yeah, he was taking with those scooters.
we
downtown
scooter all over
Dallas.
downtown. Yeah, so one of the best ways to see a city is to get on the scooters like we have here, the spin scooters.
Mhm.
So that is one of the best ways to go out and travel a city. It's so freaking fast. You can go somewhere in 5 minutes. It's going to take you 10 minutes in an Uber because of stoplights and the strangeness of traffic. But Dallas is a massive city. I've been there twice. If we never went back there for this event, it would not be too soon because the convention center stinks.
Yeah, it was
Not physically, it smelled fine enough. But it was laid
confusing.
out.
It was-
Andy, take this into account. 18,000 people.
Mhm.
So Keller Williams, just so our clients know, we are the Larkin Group at KW Realty. KW Realty, Keller Williams, is the largest real estate franchise in North America, 188,000 agents. We are the #1 selling real estate franchise in North America. We're the #1 selling franchise in Utah, and we're the #1 selling franchise in Washington County.
Wow.
So behind the Larkin Group, like the underlayment, the structure, is we are working with, and the technology that they're deploying is wild
Yeah,
right
it's
now.
state of the art.
So what we're going to be able to do to serve our clients and help aid 2 things. It's 2 prongs. Serve our clients and help real estate professionals build their business is crazy. Like if you're a real estate agent out there in the sound of my voice, and you're not aware of actually what the company's up to, we should probably be in dialogue. But Dallas is cool. You know the spider that everybody hates downtown, that everybody hated in St.
Yeah,
Joe?
the big one. Yeah.
There's a giant eyeball in Dallas.
Okay.
I mean, I'm going to show it to you while we're on the air. By the way, a huge eyeball. It's classic because I posted it to my personal page. So if any of you Facebook Livers, it's on my personal page. An eyeball, and I said, you guys thought that that the mayor, because everyone blamed the mayor. There's Kayla on the scooter in front of the eyeball.
That is a big eyeball.
Look at that, and look at the glass building behind it. So the way it's set, how cool is that? And do you know how we found it? Scootering and going down like little in between the middle of blocks.
Uh-huh.
So, this looks like a path between the block, and we went through there. It's pretty cool. I can share that to the
I
feed
missed
today
it.
too.
Is that your daughter?
What's that? No, this is Kayla, my fiance.
Oh, your fiance.
How do you like that?
I didn't get a close look at her, Jesse.
Well, why don't you look at the photo?
I see it.
What is it?
Well, right
It's
now,
the back of someone's head on a scooter.
Right now,
So-
it's actually your office program in the way.
Yeah. So for what it's worth,
There
the
you go.
back of someone's head on a scooter.
Oh,
So
okay.
before you run out and go, hey, how old is this guy?
Yeah.
Oh,
Nice, dude. Thank you for that, by the way, though.
I just
Thank you for
I didn't
that.
say anything.
Yeah,
You
that
laugh.
is good. That is really good.
It's not my fault he's getting old.
Yeah. Oh, I'm getting old. I'm getting very old. All right, let's talk.
40.
So let's nail this down. Dallas was cool. 7.7 million people. Let's talk about the next housing crash.
Okay.
The 2 questions we get in real estate. If you're from Northern Utah, number 1 is what, Jesse? What do they call and ask?
How is the market?
No, they.
What do you ask? Or they ask, is that a vacation?
Thank you. You got the. I was falling apart because last night we had a text dialogue about this. The question is it a nightly, weekly rental?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that text.
If you would like to know how to lose money in real estate, call us and let's talk about nightly, weekly rentals.
Or better than that, use an agent that's not even in the market.
Yeah, call your
doesn't
agent
know
from
what's
Salt.
going on
Yeah,
in
talk
St.
to an
George.
agent from Salt Lake
Or
City.
even
And,
Salt Lake. Like I can't imagine
my
myself
gosh.
trying to help somebody buy a home in Salt Lake. I have no idea what's going on there.
yeah,
But they do. They come down and,
Yeah.
and so that's dangerous. And I can't
Yeah.
tell you how many people that are selling these nightly rentals now used an outside agent
yep.
or
And
one that didn't really know what's going on in the market.
this is not what our show's about today, but it has been for a month. Every single client that we've spoken with in the last year who bought a nightly, weekly rental in the last 3 years, you understand, Andy, that real estate values have gone up 15% in the last 3 years nationally. And every one of these people that bought one in the last 2 to 3 years is losing money selling it. So the market went up and they're losing money selling them. But that's a whole separate show about the oversaturation, and it's hurting hotel occupancies and room rates. So,
That's a big
but
animal.
we're going to come back to the other question is, when is the next crash? And the reason that's the question is this is actually not facetious, this is not dramatic. It was actually so traumatizing for people.
Oh, yeah.
The belief is, it's really simple. When is the next housing crash?
Well,
Like they're just like almost like, what day is the Super Bowl?
Mhm.
They ask it that matter of factly. So what did we learn down in Dallas, Texas, Jesse? So if you have the data from the largest real estate company in North America, you think you might have some good data, right? Let's talk about it.
well, let's go through it.
Is the
So-
housing market poised to crash or not?
It is not.
It's not poised to crash.
Okay.
So Jesse, tell folks what happened from 2008 to 2014. What didn't happen, which is why the housing market is not crashing.
So we've actually talked about this before. Is from 2008 to 2014, we did not build enough homes to keep up with population growth, let alone move up and move down buyers.
To the tune of 2 million.
2.5 million.
2.5?
Yeah, 2.5 million.
2.5
what we
million
were-
homes were not built from
we were-
08 to 14 in the United
We were
States.
behind. So it takes a long time to catch up by 2.5 million homes.
Mhm.
You know, and I don't know that you really ever do. Somebody said, well, do you ever really catch up? And the answer is probably no.
Maybe not.
But let's bring that down to I'm going to bring that down to Washington County real quick.
Mhm.
So let's just say in that 2.5 million, 10,000 were here in Washington County. Well, at the same time as we're trying to catch up by 10,000 homes, we have now become the #1 fastest growing city per capita in the United States. How do we catch up by 10,000 and
Is that
keep
crazy?
up with that dynamic?
Is that crazy?
Well,
So
the answer is you can't, right?
yeah, I mean, if I were to seriously, if I were to take one big takeaway, is that 2.5 million homes were not built from 08 to 14. Do you realize home
that
building
were
only
needed.
really started again in 14? Like,
Yeah,
Like
11 and 12, we were just getting rid of
like
inventory.
we weren't even doing anything. I mean, we were building homes. It's not that there were no homes, but you understand what I mean?
Yeah, well, that's just, they were behind that by that many, because you need to build, I think the number that I heard one time was about 5 million homes a year just for population growth in the United States.
Crazy. Is that many?
Yeah,
I didn't know
it's
it was
a
that
lot.
many. So check this out. Home sales in 2005, when the market was absolutely at its just epidemic proportions of growth, 6.2 million home sales across the United States of America. All right. So that fell in 2011 at the kind of the bottom of this to 4.3 million. And remember, Andy, one of the reasons that a lot of people didn't buy homes, they couldn't. They lost their homes, so they foreclosed. So two things happened. You ready? 2.5 million homes were not built from 2008 to 2014. That was number one. Number two, I don't know this number, multiples of millions, probably in the dozens of millions of people, lost their homes, their credit was hosed, and they couldn't buy a home
Yeah.
from 08 to 14.
Okay, so
While they were fixing their credit, right?
also
So
in there, so the reason that
there's a backlog.
we really didn't see those home builds start until 2014, because from 2011 to 2013, how many foreclosures were on the market?
Gobs.
So all that shadow inventory that was there from 2008 to 2010 that they were holding on to were being flooded into the market for those 2 years. So it didn't really make sense for builders to try to compete with that.
They couldn't, because I mean, this is kind of wild. The average sales price of what I sold in 2011, the year that I sold the most foreclosures that the Larkin Group ever sold. We were handling a lot of foreclosure work. Our average sales price in 2011 is 139. Our average sales price right now is about 325.
Right.
So that's a combination of we were selling some crappy inventory because it was a lot of foreclosed stuff. I'm also going to link the report we're working from today, and it should actually work for the public. It's a public link.
Is it?
Yeah, I just posted it in Facebook. Folks, if you want to see what we're talking about, facebook.com/Jeremy Larkin. So check this out, right? So Jesse says there isn't going to be a housing crash. Not in the near future. I mean, not that we know of. Home prices, the
Well,
second, yeah.
We can't really predict more than a couple years out.
Yeah, we
Is
can't.
that fair? Like,
Correct.
So
So home prices, slide number 2, right? So here's how home prices work, folks. If we are appreciating over 4%, it makes affordability pretty tough, okay? If we're appreciating below 4%, it makes affordability a lot easier. 2019 homes went up 4.8% across the United States of America. And what's cool is we actually have a slide that shows, this would be fun for Andy, that shows, did that flip over?
Yeah.
That
Those
shows
bar grants,
that, yeah, it's kind of cool because you're able to see what appreciation was and what a 4% trend line would be, right? If it was always 4%. So when we look at this kind of thing, yeah, it's really close. It's interesting because this is kind of fun. Guess where home values, okay, the average home, we're gonna have Andy tease us. Average home value in the United States of America, right, Andy, is that number? Give it to everybody.
272,000.
And what would it have been if we had never had a crash and they just appreciated at 4% a year?
305.
Homes are actually, like, guys, sit down for this, undervalued in the United States of America.
Wow.
Had we appreciated at the historic appreciation rate of 4% forever, the average home value in the United States would be 305. Now, St. George is different. I understand.
kind of, but not
Yeah.
really, because if you look at that same data on that same graph for St. George, it's pretty similar.
By the way, from 2009 all the way to today, values have been underneath the 4% trend line.
Right.
So, but here's what we know. Affordability is still pretty tough. Jesse, talk to us about
That
what?
line is still the same for St. George, by the way. So in St. Let's bring that to St.
Yeah,
George.
what does
So
this really mean for
affordability
people?
for Utah, the number is 118. So it's based on 100. So the higher over the 100 you are, the more affordable.
Yeah,
So
which is weird because like above, up is good, down
it's
is
basically
bad.
inverted.
Yeah, yeah.
right?
So if 100, and this, can I throw this in?
Yeah.
If it means 100 is flat, meaning 100 is
So
air
that would
quotes,
be balanced.
yeah,
market.
balanced affordability. Well, so St. George is a 92 of 100, so
92.
we're slightly unaffordable, right?
Mhm. And that's mostly because of our wages.
Well, I think there's a second
Two
part.
things. Go ahead.
I think the other part is all the second homeowners moving to
Right.
town who don't have to have an income.
So that's what I was going to say. That the people coming in are driving the prices up, but for the locals, that's where the 92 comes in. So, right? Because it is kind of hard to afford a single family home
Oh,
if you're a local making
absolutely.
$50,000 a year.
Isn't that amazing to think about? Just think about that for a minute. Homes are technically undervalued if we had appreciated at 4%
That's true.
forever across the United States of America. Looking at affordability at the where do you pull the affordability index from, by the way? Because I know you pulled it from somewhere this morning.
I actually Googled it for Washington County and went right to the Utah State 2019 census.
Perfect. So 2019, 18 or 19?
19.
19 census. So you can actually look that up. It's pretty freaking cool.
I'll put a link in.
Yeah, he'll put a link into the Facebook. Again, facebook.com/Jeremy Larkin. So when we look at this kind of housing appreciation, right? So when was it out of control? We've got 2 minutes. It was out of control between 01 and 05. Okay, so if 4% is what we should have annually, air quotes, this is what it was from 01 to 05. 6.3%, 7%, 7.5%, 8.3%, 12.2%. Housing appreciated 3 times as fast as it should have in 1 year. So when you add that all up, 12 plus 8 is 20, 28, 35, 40% appreciation over 5 years, and it should have been about 20. So
No wonder we had a crash.
yeah, it's why we had a crash. And there are so many factors. So as we wrap this show up today, thanks for bringing that affordability index. Did you link that?
Yeah, I just did.
So as we wrap this show up, we don't predict a housing crash. We're backlogged on housing across the United States of America. We do think they're overbuilding, the data proves it, vacation rentals, nightly, weekly rentals, VRBOs. We don't think St. George is being overbuilt generally as a county. I don't think anywhere in our final minute is being overbuilt. If you want to sell your home, really, folks, we're just in one of the best real estate markets still of all time, and not a pandemonium. Visit us at soldinstgeorge.com, or if you're thinking about buying a home, we can show you, kind of fun, how to buy a home, an investment property for 5% down. You're like, how's that possible? There's a 3-step process which includes moving out of your home and leaving your home as the investment property. So if you want to visit about any of these topics, visit us at soldinstgeorge.com, soldinstgeorge.com, and let's make it a great rest of February, should we? Because it's just that kind of time. It's getting pretty out there and things are greening up. I'm going to go see some parade homes tomorrow.
Let's do it.
Thanks, Andy.
Sounds fun. Thanks, guys. Great show.
Over now.